Want to draw someone famous without making it look like a meme? Let's fix that. Today I'm drawing this face, and yes, you probably know who she is, but can I make it actually look like her with just one pencil? Let's find out. Yeah, I know. We're starting with a circle, again. But don't stress, it doesn't need to be perfect. Seriously, no one's grading your geometry here. The head is slightly turned, so the side plane becomes a tilted oval, not a circle. Place it where the eyebrow ends, even if it's covered by hair, just imagine it. Then curve the oval until it touches the edge of the main circle. It should cover about 2/3 of the circle. That works well for most angles. Want to learn drawing from the beginning, all the way to mastering the face? Join my full pencil course, fully dubbed and beginner friendly. Limited time discount available now. Link in the description and pinned comment. Go grab it. Now for the horizontal line, it won't be a straight cut through the center. Since the head is turned, this line curves with the face. On the side plane, it slices through from above the ear, then curves gently toward the eyebrow in front. Think of it like wrapping around a sphere, but following the shape of the forehead. Now, let's add 2 more curved lines, one above and one below the center line. They follow the same curve, wrapping around the sphere just like the middle one. The top line marks the hairline. The bottom one indicates the bottom of the nose. Now let's add the vertical center line. It's not a straight line. It curves inward slightly, following the shape of the head. Start from the top of the sphere and curve it gently down until it reaches the chin, right between the eyes, the nose, and the mouth. The distance from the brow line to the bottom of the nose is the same as from the nose to the bottom of the chin. Simple as that. Now connect the bottom of the circle to the chin. On the left side, use a smooth curve, that's the side of the skull. On the right side, draw the jawline down to the chin. And just like that, we've outlined the lower half of the face. Don't worry if it's not perfect. We'll refine everything in the next steps. See that blue curved line in the reference photo? It starts from the top of the ear, follows the edge of the jawbone, passes beside the mouth, and ends at the chin on the right. This curve helps us define the width of the mouth in a very natural and easy way. And don't forget, the ear should sit right here, in the lower back quarter of the side plane. I like to place a small circle to mark the tip of the nose. It helps define how far the nose projects from the face. Then I sketch 2 rounded shapes for the eye sockets. They're not perfect circles, just loose ovals. Since the head is turned slightly to the left, the right eye socket appears larger and the left one is partially hidden in perspective. This gives us a better sense of depth and structure. Let's build the nose step by step. I add a second circle on the right. This shows the side of the nose. At the overlap, I draw the visible nostril and shade it slightly to make it pop. Then I add the center line up toward the eye and start shading under the nose for depth. Finally, I blend the shading into the face so the nose feels connected, not flat. All right, let's talk about the lips. I start with 2 oval shapes, a small one for the top lip and a slightly bigger one below for the bottom lip. Then I sketch the upper lip, making sure to follow the same curves I see in the reference. That's how I catch the expression, especially that subtle smile. Once that's done, I move to the bottom oval and shape the lower lip. Again, just following the natural curve. Then I drop in some shading underneath the lips to give them volume and depth. And finally, I blend in a bit of shading around the mouth to tie everything together and bring that little smile to life. And hey, if you want to learn shading properly, step by step, I cover it fully in my drawing course. You'll find the link in the description and the top comment. Go check it out. The eyebrows aren't fully visible here because they're mostly covered by the hair. So all I do is lightly trace over the guideline we placed earlier for the eyebrow. That's more than enough for now. All right, let's talk about the hair. I start with the front strands, the bangs that fall over the forehead. I'm not sure what they call them in every language, but you know what I mean. Then I move on to the outer shape, the hair that frames the head from the sides, across the top, and underneath. Once I've got that structure, I add the main locks, and then the smaller strands in between, plus some loose flyaway hairs. That's what really gives it that natural look. And by the way, if you want to learn how to draw hair in full detail with realistic flow and structure, I go deep into that in my drawing course. You'll find the link in the description. Check it out if you're serious about improving your portraits. So, what's worse than drawing the perfect eye? Thinking you did and realizing your camera said, Nah, I'm on break. Yep, my camera just didn't record anything. I drew the whole eye like a champ. Felt great. Then found out I had no footage. Zero. Nada. So I had to erase it, cry internally, and start all over again. But hey, now you get to watch it from scratch. Lucky you. Let's start with the crease under the brow, that soft curved line just below the eyebrow. I always begin with that on both sides, right eye first, then left. It sets the foundation and helps keep things symmetrical. Next up, the upper eyelid. I draw it as one fluid shape, following the curve of the crease, but with more tension because that's what gives the eye its expression. After that, I add the tear duct and then go in to shape the lower lid, keeping it subtle and curved. Now, here's where people mess up. Don't leave the eyeball plain white. Add a soft tone inside the white of the eye. This helps it feel round, natural, and part of the face, not just a sticker slapped on paper. Now I draw the iris, the round part of the eye. I make sure to place it carefully in the right position because even a slight shift to one side can completely ruin the gaze. Then I shade it using a darker pencil, building up smooth tones and soft gradients. And finally, I add the highlight using a white gel pen. That tiny dot of light brings the whole eye to life. If you want to learn all of this in depth, from structure to shading to final details, it's all covered in my full pencil drawing course. You'll find the link in the description and the pinned comment. That's it for today. Thanks so much for watching. Drop a like if you found this helpful, and I'll catch you in the next one.